Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I will be talking about my labor and delivery, my long ass labor and delivery story. I was due January 20th and I ended up having my baby on January 22nd. So weeks leading up to my delivery date, I was having contractions. Like I would have them on and off. I guess you would consider those Braxton Hicks. So Saturday I woke up, I was having back contractions. And I tried to go to the hospital. So I went to the hospital, they checked me, they're like, oh, you're not dilated and your contractions aren't close enough. Like they hooked me up to the machine because I'm like, I think that they're close enough. They're like, no, they're not close enough yet. Download like a contraction track, and once they're 3 minutes apart consistently, let us know or come back and we'll help you. So Sunday was a football game and I was like, okay, that entire morning I was having contractions and I had been tracking them and they were getting consistently closer and closer and closer together. So I would say early in the morning they were between I would say 6 minutes apart to 8 minutes apart, and then as the day progressed they were getting worse. The game came on about 3 o'clock, so I told myself, I'm gonna watch the game. If by the end of the game they would have been closer together for 4 hours consistently, I'm gonna go to the hospital. And by that point, I had been having contractions the entire week. So I was spent. I was over it. I was tired. I was like, you know what? I'm suffering enough. I'm done. I'm ready to get this baby out. So I tracked my contractions. They were about 4 minutes apart for the entire game. At the end of the game, I took a shower and I told Will, which is my boyfriend, I was like, you know what? Let's go to the hospital. Hopefully they keep me. Actually, you know what? I lied. I called and they told me to come in. So I went in, they checked me, they're like, oh, you're not dilated yet. They hooked me up to the machine. They're like, the contractions are still 5 minutes apart. You're not dilated, so you're not in labor. So you have two options. You can either walk for an hour and see if you progress, or you can go home. Like I said, I was over it. So I literally bust out in tears. I just started crying. They're like, oh, we're so sorry. What we can do is, and I'm like, mind you, I haven't been sleeping because my contractions were really bad at night. So I really wasn't getting any rest. So they're like, oh, we'll give you a sleeping pill to help you rest. Go home, get some sleep, and we'll see how it is tomorrow. So I went home, took the sleeping pill, and all that did was make me drowsy, but it didn't stop the contractions, so I still couldn't sleep. So now I'm exhausted, overly exhausted, super drowsy, but still having contractions, still can't sleep, no rest, no comfort, no nothing. So I got home, I'm just laying there. I feel like I finally dozed off, and I woke up with the contraction. When I woke up, I was sitting in a pool of goop. So I thought my water had broken. So I'm like, well, come on, let's go. My water broke. Let's go. We're going back to the hospital. When I get there, they told me that was my mucus plug. My mucus plug had fell. And, and at that point, this is my third time going back to the hospital. So they're like, okay, we're going to keep you. We're going to put you in a room downstairs, give you some morphine, which I was like, morphine for a baby? They do that. My baby's going to come out addicted. But they're like, no, they gave me morphine. Go downstairs, get some rest, and we'll see how it goes. So I got the morphine. And they told me actually don't get out the bed. The nurse will keep checking on you. Don't get out the bed unless you're assisted. If you need to use the bathroom or something like that, make sure there's someone here to help you. My boyfriend was there, but he was asleep. He was asleep on the little reclining chair, and I was in the bed. And I kept having this sensation of feeling like I had to pee. So my baby is right over there. If you see me glance over, so I kept having the sensation that I had to use the bathroom, I had to pee. And it kept feeling but at the same time, I felt like I couldn't control my urine. I kept feeling like it was just gushing out. I had no control over it, but I felt like I had to pee, but I couldn't pee on my own. It was just happening. I just kept peeing on myself pretty much. So I'm in the bathroom checking myself, and I'm completely wet down there, and the nurse comes in, and I'm like, I keep peeing on myself, I don't know what to do, I can't control it. And she's like, I don't know if that's pee, I think that might be amniotic fluid, I think your water may have broken. So I'm like, no, it kind of feels like just pee. I feel like I'm peeing because it's a warm sensation like urine. So she's like, all right, well, I had on a pad because of my mucus plug falling. So she took the pad to test the liquid on it. She left. She just put me back in bed, told me lay down and relax. She took the pad. She came back. She's like, "This is definitely your water. Your water has broken. Now you're in active labor. We're gonna move you upstairs." This is like, so I went back to the hospital at 11 p.m. the night prior. They gave me the morphine. So I would say this is about maybe like 5 in the morning. So they're like, "All right, we're gonna move you upstairs and move you into your delivery room." So I get to my delivery room and, you know, they start hooking me up to everything. Like, they gave me the IV and all that good stuff. And the whole time leading up to having the baby, I kept saying, I'm not getting an epidural. Like, I'm going natural. Like, I heard different stories. I was told, like, because I have really bad period symptoms, I can handle labor. Like, it'll be fine. But at this point, because I had been having contractions for so long, I felt like it kind of weakened me. So I was like, I was kind of over it. So I asked about the epidural and they told me, if you're not dilated yet, like if you're not further along, there's no point in getting it, because by the time you end up actually dilating, the epidural would have wore off and it kind of would be pointless. So they're like, if you're not at least 3 centimeters dilated, then there's no point in getting it. So I'm like, oh, I'm like, about to start crying again, because I'm like, the contractions are coming and kicking my butt. I'm like over it. I'm just like tired and just like, it's a lot going on. So they checked me and I was 3 centimeters dilated. So they hooked me up to the epidural. I was super happy. They gave me the epidural, so I was super happy. And that's when I had my boyfriend call my parents. They came up to the hospital and pretty much we just sat there for an entire day. For hours, honey. I did not dilate whatsoever for hours. So, like I said, that was about like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. By the time my parents got there, it was maybe 9 o'clock in the morning. I didn't dilate for hours. At about 5 p.m., they had to give me Pitocin in order to help increase my the dilation, because, you know, it had been hours and I wasn't dilating. Nothing was really happening down there. And I was completely numb from like the waist down. I couldn't feel anything. Like, I could feel my feet though. Like, I couldn't feel my legs, but I can feel my feet. So like, if I shifted my body, like my leg would like fall off and I would be like, "Is that what happened? Put my leg back up on the bed." Like, it was funny. Yeah, so they gave me the Pitocin and they also gave me the peanut, which is like this, like literally like a peanut shaped ball where you put your legs in between and it helps keep your legs propped open so that the baby can continue to push down. Because they're like, if you keep your legs closed, then the baby's not going to push down and you're not going to dilate, blah, 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 blah. So, it's about, at this point, so I did that for a few hours and they rotate you from side to side. Nothing's really going on. So about 9 p.m., I felt like the epidural started wearing off. Like, I started feeling the contractions come again. And like, they give you a button to like give yourself more doses if you feel like you need it. So I'm like pressing a button, I'm not getting any relief. So I'm like calling the anesthesiologist and I'm like, my button's broken. Like, I don't know what's going on. I keep pressing it and nothing's happening. He's like, your button's definitely not broken, but you probably need a stronger dose, because at this point, like, your dose needs to increase. So they give me like a stronger epidural or whatever. And so about 9 p.m. it's maybe like 10 p.m. my parents are like, okay, so they're coming and checking me periodically, and I'm progressing a little bit, but not like, you know, you have to be at 10 centimeters in order for you to start pushing for you to have the baby. So I was maybe at like 7, 8 the last time they checked me. So my parents had been there the entire day. So they're like, okay, well, if they check you again and you haven't progressed, we're gonna go home and get some rest, because you probably won't have the baby anytime soon. So at, I would say like 10:30, they check me and they're like, "Oh, you're ready to start pushing." So they start getting ready. The nurse comes in and she like says to me, "I have to start pushing." And I go, I'm starting to push, and immediately the baby starts crowning. And she's like, "Okay, hold on 1 second, let me go get the doctor." Bitch, what? Why isn't the doctor already here? Like, I don't get it. Like, why, what? I'm like, I didn't even know that was a thing. I figured once you start pushing, that means the doctor should be there because the baby could just shoot on out. No. They have you start pushing with the nurse, and then they call the doctor once the baby starts crowning. So they're like, as the baby's coming out, which at that point, you feel like you just need to keep pushing. They're like, "Oh, wait, stop. Don't do nothing. we're gonna call the doctors and then they're gonna come in and we're gonna finish. So the doctors come in, it takes just a second, they get in there, and I feel like I pushed for a total of 20 minutes, and my baby came out at 11:10 p.m. weighing 6 pounds 9 ounces. She had all 10 toes, all 10 fingers, healthy as can be, beautiful. They took her over, like wiped her up, the pediatrician checked her, they put her on my chest, and the rest is history. My baby Khalees Layla Woodley was born, and she has been the light of my life ever since. Yeah, my labor and delivery was long and it was tough, but in the end it was all worth it, and I would definitely recommend getting the epidural if you need it. If you can tough it out, tough it out. But if you can't, girl, get that epidural. I was nervous about my legs being numb afterwards, and they definitely were, but it wore off. Like, the medicine wore off, I would say, maybe like 2 hours afterwards. Yeah, and I just, afterwards, they clean you up, a nurse. So once you push the baby out, the doctors literally just drop you. They just, like, leave. They walk out the door. They're there for a second and they're gone. The nurse cleans you up. She cleaned me up, got all my stuff together, and wheeled me up to my recovery room, and we just, like, Will and I just held our baby, and I nursed her, and we just spent the night just loving on her. That's it. Thank you guys for stopping by. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Thank you.